I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned that I am not a name. I am a number.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this very moment I just learned that David scrapped the idea we had for doing the intro of The Prisoner.
Oh yeah, we were. Let's do that.
No, it's too late now, Dave.
Yeah.
Move on.
You ruined it.
Complicated. It's
Yeah,
very
you fucked it up.
complicated.
This week has just gotten beyond. Everything's gotten away from me.
What's up, guys? I am Tyler Hosley, and I am coming to you from another dimension. But I can see and hear everything this week, so just know I am here listening from a distance.
Hi, I'm Craig. Film enjoy living in England, and my main takeaway from The Prisoner, and I'm really sad this isn't going to happen, but I would really love it if we could have forced Tyler to play an entire game of cricket at some point, because it is essentially Wes Anderson for sport. So I'd really like to see him play. Like, how is it, like 3 days to play a match of cricket?
Oh yeah,
Or
with
something
lunch
insane
breaks.
like that.
And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
naked people
Right.
running across the pitch.
That would finish him off, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be the end.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's me. I'm Anna, film fan living against their will in Ohio. And by hook or by crook, this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay! Because Tyler's not
Anna?
live with us, I dropped that because I felt bad excluding him from it. We'll find a way to do it another time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think you'll have to work it in somewhere else. I also kind of was worried, like, are you guys really going to be able to coordinate this? Like, who's going to take what line? My part would have been easy, just as all the number 6 dialogue.
I did actually write it out. I counted it. I gave everybody else but myself an equal number of lines. I just wanted to say by hook or by crook.
Yeah, I
Me
mean,
and Kevin and Tyler would have fucked that up. All
Yeah,
three
we
of
would
us.
have absolutely
Yeah.
bounced it up.
100% why I totally. We've been doing this long enough. I am on top of some shit. Fuck yeah.
I admire Dave's like belief in you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I know better. This would have been a flaming disaster, but it would have been funny.
He'd
If
be
I don't
sitting there
live in
patiently
denial
and we'd
like
be like,
number 6, I would have given up years ago.
no.
See how I tied that in? Fuck yeah.
Whoa.
He'd be sitting there patiently and me and Craig would be going, what do you want? Constipation. What do you want? Constipation. He would have just been raging from the very start.
Are we gonna do normal stuff? Or just gonna get into this?
Did
Did you guys watch anything else this week?
Because
Because I know you watched a lot of, and you complained a lot. Anna, did you watch anything else worth talking about?
Hang on, let me look real quick. I'm so sorry. I feel like I wasn't really prepared for this question, even though it comes up every single time. Yeah, so we went to see The Mandalorian and Grogu. That was super fun. We went to see it in an old movie theater too. So we have a little tiny home on a lake, and the nearest town has this theater. It used to be one screen, like one auditorium, and then at some point, maybe in like the 60s, they split it into two. So it's this little 2-screen joint, and they only have movie showings like 4 days a week or whatever, and 2 showings a day. But yeah, we went to see Mandalorian and Grogu, which was super cute. It's not like, they're not saving the universe as we're used to it, I guess, in that movie, but there is some pretty cool stuff that happens, and it's just precious. So it was nice to see something that felt a little like not super serious, like we could just kind of kick back and not have to think too much about it. And then for Memorial Day, we usually watch some kind of war related film, and we had planned to watch The Great Dictator, the Charlie Chaplin film. But we were having some issues with the streaming. The internet at the lake is not always super reliable. So we were having trouble streaming. But we went through the small collection of discs that my brother had brought up and left, like duplicates of, and found Casablanca, which totally like scratched that particular itch and got us out of watching the usual stuff that we watch on Memorial Day, like Kelly's Heroes and The Dirty Dozen and stuff like that. So it was a nice little change of pace. And I mean, obviously it's a classic, but Claude Rains just owns that film. Like, to me, I don't even watch it for like the whole Bogey and Bergman thing. I'm just like, I absolutely love everything about Claude Rains's character in that film. But that was kind of it. Like, not a lot of watching lately. Well, let me roll that back real quick. I did watch 3 or 4 early Sam Raimi films, plug alert, in preparation for a podcast that Christy Jett and I are starting, the Raimi cast. We're going to just dive into all things Sam Raimi, his films, people in his orbit. Obviously, we're going to talk about, Bruce Campbell and Ted, my favorite. But I watched like his early stuff, so It's Murder and Clockwork, 6 Months to Live, which was just absolutely ridiculous. All of them are actually kind of ridiculous, but in varying degrees. Some, It's Murder is very much like a comedy. Um, I don't know that any of them are great. But I think there's a real sense of style early on with his stuff that he was doing when he was like in his late teens. So it was fun to watch those, and then also Within the Woods, which was the prototype film that they did while they were trying to fundraise for The Evil Dead. So it was neat to see that and to see how much of that movie carried over into The Evil Dead. All of those I watched on YouTube. Not great quality, but you can still sit through them and get everything that you need out of them. So that was a lot of fun. But other than that's about all that I've watched recently that's of note.
Yeah, I watched a few things. I watched the 1954 Black Sunday prequel, Black Tuesday. It's not really a prequel. I was just being funny because Tuesday comes before Sunday. Like a little joke. It's really good. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was expecting. It's what I deserve. Yeah, it's great. It's great to work a crime noir. It's incredibly mean-spirited and violent for, the time that it came out. It's beautifully shot by Night the Hunter and Magnificent Amberson cinematographer Stanley Cortez. It's got great dialogue, great hard-boiled dialogue. Have another belt of a whiskey. It's starting to look back at you, stuff like that. Just really tight little scripts. Great pacing, great structure. First and third acts are essentially extended set pieces. Like it opens with a 20-minute, half-hour prison break, and then concludes with a 20-30-minute siege, and they're really well put together. And plus, and it's the biggest possible plus. If you're gonna have this, it's the most wonderful kind of plus. You have Edward G. Robinson just swaggering and snarling his way through the whole thing. I spoke to Dave earlier in the week and just said, the era of filmmaking where Edward G. Robinson could be your leading man was obviously the peak of cinematic art. It was the best era because you just don't get actors like Edward G. Robinson anymore, and it's just a fucking shame because, man, he's always at a 10, just all of the time. I love that guy. So yeah, that's a great little crime movie, and it's got a nice little philosophical edge to it as well, like exploring, you know, the worth of a human life from various perspectives. It's really, really good. I highly recommend that one. I expect Dave's seen that one.
Yes, I have.
I
And
have,
maybe
yeah,
I thought Anna might, so I know Anna likes Edward G. Robinson as well.
love
It's hard
him.
not to. He is just. They don't
Yeah.
make them like that anymore. They just don't.
No, they don't. And
If
like
they
when
did,
I
in a movie.
Yeah. When I saw that when it was at Noir City, Detroit, and the other feature that they showed with it was Brute Force, which is the Burt Lancaster Prison Break movie with Hugh
Yeah.
Crumb as just absolute bastard of a warden. And watching those two films back to back was like the most depressing. I mean, I get that it's a film noir festival, but we went back to our hotel that night. It was like the 8 o'clock double feature, and we went back to our hotel room and like nobody spoke on the way back. We're just like, well, that was miserable. I mean, they're great films, but watching both of those back to back was just really harsh.
Yeah, Black Tuesday's just priming you for the misery of brute force, isn't it?
Yeah, you really.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a
100%.
lineup, though, man. Anytime Anna mentions new art, I get like all fucking jealous. I'm just saying, jealous.
It's like September every year. I'll shoot you a message when they release the dates. Like you have to come up for it. It's just incredible.
That's like Tyler going to the prostitution films festival in, I don't know.
You would
Where would
donate
he be? Where would
yeah,
Tyler Fest be? Vegas?
No,
Yeah,
No, that's got to be a Florida
Amsterdam.
thing, right? Oh,
Yeah,
Amsterdam, yeah.
or
Yep.
Miami. It's either Amsterdam or
Yeah.
Miami.
I guess it'd be Venice Beach or something. That'd be it.
quite possibly. Quite possibly. I watched the 2026 video game adaptation Mortal Kombat 2, and yeah, I had loads of fun with that. I didn't expect to because I wasn't too keen on the first reboot, but it feels much more connected to Paul W.S. Anderson's 1999 film, 1995 film than the kind of the grim dark approach the 2021 film went with. And I don't like Paul W.S. Anderson at all, but Mortal Kombat's easily his best film, and it's super fun. And this is fun in the same vein. Like, it's extremely gory and goofy, and it knows that it's goofy, and it doesn't try to be anything else. And Carl Urban is a really good addition. There's Johnny Cage's scenes with Baraka are a massive highlight of the film, and they're not really action scenes. They're just really, really enjoyable, strange, buddy comedy scenes I really liked. And what I really liked was how kind of putting Carl Urban front and center in the marketing kind of allowed the writers to kind of backdoor a Katana movie without the online chuds finding out. So now they're watching a film where the lead is Adeline Rudolph, who's very, very good and like commendably sincere, given how silly much of the film is. And yeah, it's good to. I'm glad they went with that character and made something that will anger the chuds after they bought their tickets. So yeah, it's a huge improvement on the first one. I really enjoyed it. I'd probably watch a third. You seen that one, Dave?
Not yet. It's been hard for me to get out to see new stuff lately, just because of the time of year it is. So not yet. It's on my list.
Well, I managed to watch it without going out.
Yeah, I know. But again, I've been too busy to even look there for things. That's actually my plan after we're done here. So don't tell anybody.
Okay. I can see the cinema from my bedroom window.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I keep trying to buy land next to the drive-in.
Exactly. That's the one. And I did something today. I did. It was it's a kind of an act of masochism, really. I watched the Strangers reboot trilogy, all of it, all 3 films today, one after the other, for some reason. The first is just kind of dull, lazy shit. It's like every beat of the first film, which isn't even that good in the first place, it's all just kind of warmed over, and it's very tame and not at all suspenseful, and just it's bad. It's a bad retread of the original movie. The second is still not good, but it is significantly better. It's very disjointed and still too tame, but it throws up enough unexpected moments that I was entertained pretty much throughout. There's a surreal little battle between the protagonist and a CGI wild boar, which is way more fun than I'm making it sound. But the second is still like a bad movie, but I enjoyed it. And then the third is way too busy trying to like force feed the audience unrequested and unwanted The Stranger's lore, to actually, put together a worthwhile film. Nobody wants Stranger's lore. The fact that there isn't, it wasn't that exciting that there wasn't, background on these characters in the original film, but it's better than actually getting the background because it's fucking boring. The overarching story is bad. The killers are bad as well. They got zero menace, and they don't even have like that kind of bare minimum uncanny mystery of the killers in the original film. At least they had a slightly spooky vibe to them, and it's just guys in masks, and it's boring. And really, the only thing to recommend the trilogy, and it's not enough to sit and watch them all, but I know Dave will have to for
This
Turkey Day.
October or November. It's Turkey
Yeah.
Day. I decided to, because they were all supposed to release within a year, and then they didn't. I was like, I'll wait until they're all together, and I'll do it as God intended, in one shot.
Do it like I did it. Do it like I did it. I will say, like, I didn't like these films, but I honestly think putting aside 4.5 hours to watch them all in a row is probably the most rewarding way of watching them, if you have to. I don't know why you would have to. I mean, for some reason you have to, and for some reason apparently I had to, but that's the way to watch them. But the only thing really to recommend them is the lead performance, actress called Madeleine Petsch. She carries like every fucking second of these movies, kind of heroically. Like even like in the first film where she's handcuffed to just the worst co-protagonist, this just drooling catalog model. She still carries the whole thing, and it's great that she could do that, but also it kind of sucks because the stench attached to this trilogy is pretty awful, and I think a lot of it is going to stick to her, and it shouldn't do. But the commercial and critical stink of this trilogy should not stick to her because it's totally undeserved, and she works her ass off, and she carries all 3 fucking movies commendably. But unfortunately, I think it doesn't look good on your CV. The Strangers trilogy, even if you are far and away the best thing in it. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, Dave.
So I watched a mini-series on Amazon this week called The Girlfriend with Olivia Cooke and Robin Wright, and it's really fucking good. Olivia Cooke is amazing in this, guys. Like, she's incredible. She steals every single scene she's in. I love her. She's been consistently great since Bates Motel, and Robin Wright is really good in this as well. Like, she's excellent in it. She actually directed a few of the episodes too, which surprised me. She's a really strong director, and it's a really strong show too, with a really good fucking finale. Like, if you have Amazon Prime, it is totally worth your time. Check it out. But besides that, I did start another show called Margot's Got Money Troubles with Elle Fanning, and it's about a single mother starting an OnlyFans to cover her bills. I'm only a couple episodes into that so far, but I'm really loving it, which should be like of no surprise to anybody. It's a show about a girl starting a career in sex work, so that's some Tyler flavored shit. So I will keep you posted on that one.
Not quite as masochistic as Craig, but I stupidly decided that Vicky and I might get some minor chuckles from Balls Up, which is the latest straight to streaming movie with Mark Wahlberg. continuing his decline through the 7 circles of hell as his career hopefully goes into the gutter. He's not good in it. He's with Paul Walter Hauser, who's not good in it. There were a couple of minor chuckles in the opening scenes, and then I found one moment amusing later and turned to check that Vicky also found it amusing. She so found it not amusing that my amusement dissipated for the sake of my own health. And I was just like, yeah, sorry, I even thought this would be a minor distraction. I'd say to her when I was put it on, everyone has said this is shit, but sometimes, you know, you don't mind some of the shit that we watch, so we'll do it. And then Vicky just spent a good hour and 10, hour and 20 minutes to say to me, yeah, everyone was right about this one. And I went, yeah. And just had to keep apologizing. So yeah, it's really, really bad. But on the other end of the scale, I finally watched Sirat, which had been recommended a while ago by Craig. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really good. It's very odd, isn't it? Um, it it's bizarre in how things are presented in quite a straightforward way. I mean, it doesn't feel like a genre piece or anything, but I can't remember the last time I felt so much dread building while I was watching something. And I think that's partly to do with the soundtrack, that heavy bass coming up now and again, and it's just partly to do with the way things play out, and it has that feeling of anything being able to happen at any moment. It was it was really good, and it felt like quite a unique film. But unique and yet not done in a way that will make it sort of, you know, impossible for viewers to connect with and see things in and sort of interpret in their way. Because I know what you said about how you view maybe all of it or some of it, Craig.
I'd say the whole thing.
Yeah, as an allegory for
The
the
refugee experience.
right, which I see when you say that. I didn't get from it. I was thinking more of a well, I don't want to kind of potentially spoil anything, but I had done a few touch points that came to mind when I was watching them. They were very unexpected mixes of other movies swirling in my head that I thought of, but it is its own thing. And it's just very, very good. I also I went
The
along to
soundtrack's the soundtrack's incredible as well. Everybody should
yeah, it's
give that a listen on Spotify. I'm
yeah,
not
it's
even into like that now,
pretty
but
great.
it's an incredible soundtrack.
I went along to see The Mandalorian Grogu. Free tickets ahoy. Um, Anna enjoyed it more than I did. It, it was it was okay. Anna, have you watched the show, or did you know that you wouldn't have to kind of know all of the show before seeing it anyway?
Yeah, we watched the show, but it was a while back. So there
Right.
were some points when we were watching it where it was like, okay, I don't like remember this guy. Um, or there were some things where it was like, it's like I think we're gonna have to go back and watch it to maybe get the full experience of it. But
Hmm.
so we did. We started rewatching the show. But I know there's a lot of stuff in there that's like, yeah, there's a lot in the movie that references like other stuff, it really taps into the broader Star Wars universe outside of the major motion pictures. That's
Yeah,
what I understand. Yeah.
I mean, I only watched the first season a while ago, which I enjoyed. I just hadn't made time to get to the rest. But I do think it kind of works as well for newcomers or relative newcomers who just
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you can't really avoid the main characters, so they would know them. But yeah, it didn't. For me, it never really felt like it became fully cinematic. It was cute and entertaining. And obviously it does seem a bit bigger being on a bigger screen, but it didn't feel like it opened up. I was hearing other people talk about it, and they did say, there are it feels like there are restrictions on any potential, developments or changes, so that at the end, things could continue as they were at the beginning, basically, which would, to some people, I think would make it feel like a sort of in between season filler or a truncated season. But there's definitely cuteness with Grogu, and I did enjoy my special minty biscuit Grogu Burger King treat that I also had. there, there's fun to be had. Much to Dave's disappointment, I watched the Super Mario Galaxy movie and didn't love it as much as him either. I know you liked this one more than the first Super Mario movie, didn't you, Dave?
I did because it was just stupid, plotless set pieces.
Yeah, like I didn't hate it. I maybe I liked it a bit more than the first one. I'm not sure. The animation's like really nice and colourful and bright, and I still love, there's plenty of the score, obviously referencing the familiar tunes.
It's made by Illuminations. The bar is in the basement. And
But I did get one of the little references at the end with a character that's created as part of a fight, and I was very happy to get that, even though it just really reminded me of how old I am, because I'm sure kids watching just be like, "What are those? What are those dots and lines? What does that mean?" I was like, "Yeah, me and Dave will know this." Dave because he's a gamer, and me because I was old enough to covet those games when they cost a fortune for something you could hold in your hand and it would have a battery that would last about 3 hours. Ah,
those were the days.
happy days. Yeah. And I think that's it, apart from obviously a lot of The Prisoner.
I had a weird week because you guys know what happened on Monday. If you say Memorial Day, I'm going to say no, shut the fuck up. That's right. It was Dave's only religious holiday, Towel Day. So I finally made Killa watch the 1981 BBC Two television version of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And
Yes.
it's amazing. She loved it. I love that she loved it. We had a great time together holding our towels and wearing our robes and being, hoopy fruits. It was fantastic. It was a great day. I watched the 1997 comedy drama from Jill Sprecher with Toni Collette and Parker Posey Clock Watchers. It's about four temp workers in an office who are treated like crap by their coworkers when things start disappearing from around the office. I hadn't seen this. This one kind of like passed by me when it was new, but it's popped up. It popped up on a streamer. I don't remember which one. So to give it a go, and it's okay. Like if you want like a late '90s uh office comedy, it's kind of like office work, but or no, Office Space before Office Space. It's not as funny, but it's a solid little indie about actual people with decent decent jokes. It does underline, if you look it up, you will be reminded that Owen Gleiberman, who is currently the critic for Variety, has always been a hacky piece of shit since before three of us were born. Um, And then I finished it off by starting Spider Noir, which I'm enjoying so far. I've only watched the first, I don't know, the first 4 episodes. I think I watched the first half before I had to record. It's I love Nick Cage. He's 20 years too old. He is 20 years too old, and he looks too old. Because as much as I love Nick Cage, he is 62 years old now, and he looks
Marvelous head of hair, though.
marvelous set of hair, and he's great, and he's a lot of fun in the role. Like 20 years ago, this would have been fucking perfect, and he plays this character absolutely ridiculously. I love it. Lamont Morris, who was in New Girl, is the Robbie Robertson in this. He's really good. Lee Jun Lee is this version of Felicia Hardy. She's so good so far. Um, I am totally. Jack Houston is Flint Marco the Sandman. Brian Gleason is Silvermane.
Brendan
cast-
Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson.
Sorry, Brendan Gleason. I had a dyslexic moment looking at the cast list.
Oh my God. Yeah, you put some respect on his name.
It's not on purpose. I can't help it.
Yeah, you all right.
Same. Sorry. But like the cast is really good and the script is fun. Like the script is pure comic book pulp, and it doesn't try to be anything more than that. That's really good. Where it kind of falls apart is in the visuals. The effects are fine. Like they're not great. They're done kind of cheap, but they're fine for what they are. The problem is in the color and black and white. It was obviously shot digital, but like they don't do the black and white very well. They just kind of ran it through a filter once or twice, and it just is kind of there. Like if this was an extra on a DVD, you'd be like, "Oh, that's fun," and then never watch it. So then pushing it like it's a thing is kind of disappointing. And then the colors, the sets are amazing. These sets are fan-fucking-tastic. They're full of great colors and they look era appropriate. The sets and costumes are great, and then they are not filmed or lit in a way that really does them justice. So even in color, it's just kind of bleh on a visual level, and it's a shame. It's a shame. It's almost there. It's not quite. I'm enjoying it. I will finish it, and I will enjoy it then too. But it's probably the best. It's my favorite Marvel TV series in the longest time. It was made by Sony, so yay. This week, we decided to take a look at the 1967 cult British television series, The Prisoner, which stars creator Patrick McGoohan as number 6, a nameless British agent who is abducted and imprisoned in a mysterious coastal village after resigning from his position. Full of allegories, sci-fi, psychological drama, and some good old-fashioned Kirk Fu every episode. It's 17 hours of Kafka-esque surreal counterculture, which has some of the farthest reaching influence ever from any television show.
Is it pre-Kirk Fu?
It's not. They're
No?
they are contemporaries.
Okay.
Because the original Star Trek, the original series was 66, so it was the year before.
Okay. They wouldn't have had anywhere near enough time to like study Kirk Fu and
But
recreate it.
He 100%
That would take decades.
It is exactly the same. Like they were working on some level that was just.
Yeah.
We decided to do this because I thought it was really topical and be fun to talk about, but it's kind of an unwieldy beast. So let's just go over like general impressions, guys. What do you guys think?
What do I think of the show, or us, watching this non-movie for a movie podcast again, Dave?
I broke it fucking down for you. You had 200 days. You could have watched the whole series 277 times.
You've made us watch this. Craig's made us watch fucking Pet Judge. I've watched Bible Man. These I do not consider any of these movies for a movie.
Bible Man was a movie. It was a musical.
Yeah, I think Bible Man was a movie.
I mean, I don't know. There's been too many non-movies that have hurt me hurt me badly. What was weird cat guy who's, like teaching kids about guns? That was another one. These don't count as movies.
That was also a movie.
The Prisoner
Also,
does
Cool
not count
Cat
as a
is
movie.
a movie, okay, and a very important one.
Other than that, I'm kind of glad that you gave us a prod, Dave. I've had the box set for a long, long time. Because you know, I've known of it as being an iconic kind of slice of British culture and of it being influential, but I've never made the time to sit down and watch it. I'd also heard it was very weird, but I was like, yeah, I can do weird. Yet I just didn't make the time for it. And that box set has extra features, has a couple of episodes of Danger Man that it says are linked to the Prisoner or like thematically linked, and you gave us like 6 months notice for this, and I didn't get to any of the extras because I'm a very shitty podcast co-host and friend. But I appreciate the prod to finally watch this.
The fact you already owned it, it's like Dave's been following you around and whipping you, but you've been doing exactly what you want to do while he's whipping you. You know, just
Yeah.
I admired it more than I enjoyed the viewing experience. You know, like Dave's going to tell me off. You've told Kevin off. You can tell me off in a minute, okay? But like, I feel there is an ideal way to watch this, and there is an ideal way to watch this which we cannot do, which is in 1967. And, you know, you gather around with other people and you watch. It's probably one of the first examples of, you know, water cooler event television, isn't it? That, you know, people get to, you know, watch it all together and meet up and dissect it and discuss it with other people who live in the same political and artistic climate that it was produced in. That's the best way to watch it, but obviously I can't do that. I don't have a time machine. So the best way to watch it would be once a week, which I could have done. I recognise I could have done it. I had 22 weeks or 17 episodes. I could have done it, but I am a procrastinator, a broken procrastinator. I just can't help it. So I thought, you know what? I can fit these all into 3 weeks, barring weekends, because that's family time. I can watch this all in 15 days, and yeah, I hurt myself. And that's one of my issues with it. And the other issue is just, I think the 1960s are a very specific time. Like I said, like politically and artistically, very specific time. So some of these ideas and some of the presentation of these ideas just sailed over my fucking head, which they might not have done if I'd watched it in more digestible chunks, like say 1 episode a week. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it, Dave?
Would have been a good
Definitely
idea. We
speaking to us
actually,
now.
you know, we scheduled it so you can do it that way.
But I hugely admired its just the whole the ambition of it all, and like the fucking wealth of heavyweight ideas and questions and themes. It tries to cram a lot in 17 episodes, probably more than it can actually contain. But it's very challenging and confrontational television, and it did impress me, even if my own viewing methods leave something to be desired.
Yeah, I love how much it swings for the fences. Like, I remember I had started watching this, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know, like some streaming channel had it. And I started watching it, and I think I stopped for a bit and then tried to go back to it, and it's one of those shows that, like, I think, yes, watching it on a weekly basis would be ideal, but you have to watch it every week, or, you know, it's easy to kind of lose track of what's going on, and I think part of that is because the way that the episodes were aired were maybe not in chronological storytelling order, and we can dive into that further later. But I think it's like kind of easy to get lost if you don't like commit to it.
And there's a rhythm to it that, like, the way that it's affecting number 6's character. You don't want to leave it too long. You want to stay in that kind of rhythm that his character is in, and the effect
Yeah,
everything's having on him.
yeah,
You leave it too long,
absolutely.
you're not going to get the effects.
Yeah, definitely. But it is you've got a great point there. It's so full of huge ideas, and there's this like great simmering anger underneath the surface of this whole show that I didn't do. I'm kind of in the same boat as Kevin, although I picked up my copy much more recently, but it's like a set with all of the episodes on it and a bunch of special features that I didn't get into. But it does feel like he was just so angry when he was making this show. And I don't know if it's because he was just like frustrated with his situation working on the other show that he was on at the time, or like had just finished on and was just over that situation. So he's like, I'm just going to make this show, and it's just going to be me throwing up a giant middle finger to the establishment. And
Well, he turned down Bond twice before Connery took it on, and
yeah,
his reason for it apparently,
Once
I'm
after.
paraphrasing. Yeah, he thought James Bond was a psychotic slut, and he wanted none of it, essentially. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of that works its way in there. Like, he wanted to make something much more moral than your usual spy fare.
yeah, definitely. And I think overall it succeeds. When it gets to the end, the last handful of episodes, it gets a little wibbly in there where it's like, okay, I think it's like maybe kind of running out of steam or something was sort of pooping out. And but I think overall it's a pretty remarkable series for for what it was doing um in that time period. Like I'm sure, there's a bunch of like weird television shows, but nothing is as weird as this for that time period. Nothing is I don't think was as bizarre as this show was. I mean, like if you break out some of just the components of it on its own and you were trying to explain it to someone who had never heard of it, they would think you were a crazy person. Like you were just a lunatic. Like, oh, and then there's a weather balloon that chases people and entraps them. And, you know, like whoever you're telling this to is just going to be like, okay, and like walk away.
I've been doing that with my wife all week. She's been saying, "How's it going?" I go, yeah, "I'm getting there. I'm getting through." And what's happened in this episode? And I say, "Well, this has happened." And she just arch her eyebrow and just leave without
Yeah.
saying anything. Just okay.
Yeah, like
Joy.
you're pulling my leg or something. Like you're just making up shit.
It is something you have to experience. You can't. This is what it was ultimately the problem, and I've been thinking about this since we started. It's like I know what I have to say about it, but there's no way you can get anyone to understand the experience.
Yeah. And I mean I was vaguely familiar with the show and then, had watched maybe I would say maybe like the first 4 episodes. Um and so I had an understanding of what it was. Apparently the show is like a huge hit on my dad's side of the family. Like my mom does not like it. She didn't like it when it was on, like when it was originally airing, and I don't know how it aired in the United States. I mean, I don't know like what channel it would have been on. But
Dave hasn't got like a family rift. He hasn't just opened one up, has he?
I can actually tell you what channel it was on. It was on CBS, so it was on the
oh,
same
okay,
channel
okay.
as Star Trek.
Um,
As a matter of fact, we're going to tie it all back together.
nice. Um, So yeah, my mom was like, I hated that show. Like she hated Rover, the weather balloon that captures people and puts them in jail. Um, like she didn't like anything about it really. So rewatching this for her was, I think, torture in some way. But when I picked up the set and I posted about it on Facebook, um, well, first when I got it, my dad was like, "Oh, I loved The Prisoner." And then I posted it on Facebook and both of his sisters commented, like, "Oh, I used to love this show. I used to love this show." And I'm like, "Okay. Well, I know like where I get my respect for it. It's that side of the family." Um, but yeah, I think in my notes I wrote that this show walked so Lost could run. Um, and I know there's other
Twin Peaks,
shows.
like
Yeah,
Frosted
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks was heavily inspired by, like,
Heavy Twin Peaks, yeah.
this is the alpha of surreal surreal commentary television. Like, there was nothing like this before.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. So it's I sort of I wouldn't say I binged it. I would watch like maybe 3 episodes or 4 episodes at a time, and then it was like, okay, that's enough of that for now. And then wait a couple of days and then watch a few more episodes. So um I kind of had to break it up a little bit because it is such a strange show, and I think it does work better to parcel it out, to be able to appreciate each episode on its own and as part of the greater story. I think it is better to just kind of watch it one or maybe two at a time.
Yeah, I think it's incredible, as I interrupted with a couple times. Not just, I mean, just on its own, it is such a wildly massive swing for the fences that literally gave multiple people involved breakdowns on the set, especially McGowan. That I what
Yeah.
it's for me, it's like Blue that we watched recently. This is a deeply personal work that I'm not sure means as much to anyone else except for what it did to Patrick McGowan. But there's so many rich ideas. There's so many interesting references, and I think a lot of the things it looks at are still kind of worth talking about. I mean, the village is it's a fascist totalitarian society where the charismatic leader is gone.
Well,
So
we've reached what it was, telling us about.
yeah, I mean, that's exactly. There's commentaries on certain ways of education that we are doing. There's the self-fulfilling police state. It's there's a lot of stuff, and the thing is, yeah, they're broad. They're very much broad um allegories. So you can read a lot of things into it, but I do feel that we live in a society that's pretty where it might be more on the nose than ever in some spots. Not all spots, because there a lot of it is 1967, and as we have learned over the course of this podcast, 1966 to 1960 or 1971 were a very specific and weird time in human history.
I mean,
Definitely.
remember, can I also say that, like, you've got all of that going on about but the the totalitarianism and the strangeness of the village. But to me, the surprising and interesting thing about it was also that dressing was there so they could present and maybe gently mock the sort of traditional idea that we'd seen for years in war movies, and all my knowledge of this just comes from war movies, where you have the prisoners there and they're going about their daily duties, but when they go in, there's an escape committee. Someone knows they're allowed to have the escape committee. The people who are imprisoning them know that their job is to stop them escaping, but it's all under the polite and civil rules of warfare as presented in these cozy versions of war. It's a case of like, we'll keep trying to stop you. Oh, I'll keep trying to escape, damn you. And then later on, it's tea and crumpets. Do you know what I mean? Like that was running through it all the time, because to me, that also made it. It helped it make sense as to why it was. It's essentially the same idea every episode of trying to escape or getting away and getting there, and that feels like the repetitive drudgery of trying to escape in wartime, when it's this is a village, but it's a prison camp, and it's got that very it just really, it amps up all the very watchhole Britishness, and uses all of the dressing to say, I wasn't sure whether it was gently mocking it or whether it's just fully embracing that, because it makes a stranger juxtaposition with all the other stuff, all of the the surveillance and the futurist elements, if you like.
Yeah. T, what do you think?
So I didn't love The Prisoner as a whole. I liked things about it. I liked the mix of spy thriller with classic science fiction. I like how allegorical it was with its themes, and how it really never tries to ever like spoon feed the audience information. It lets you kind of ponder and try to figure it out yourself, which is becoming rarer in this generation. And the lead performance is really good. Patrick McGoohan is really fucking good as number six. I mean, his performance is truly top notch. I personally just struggled through it past like the first few episodes. Like I was into it for a bit, and then I just feel like it went on for a bit too long. I think 17 episodes is just kind of too long for the show. And without spoiling anything, I will say I did like the ending. I know folks are like crazy super mixed on it, but I can always appreciate something that isn't afraid to like go full on surreal and allegorical. And in the long run, it's fairly easy to figure out, in my opinion. But like I said, it's not really a show I would watch on my own. It's not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate what it was going for. So I don't hate that I watched it. It wasn't a show that I would like ever watch or finish on my own, if that makes sense.
That's very interesting. Uh yeah, so there's 17 episodes, and the order's wildly debated. There are different ones. There's the official ITC television broadcast order. There's the US broadcast order for CBS in 1968. There's the order used by the A&E DVDs in the 2000s. There's the ITC reorder that was used for Channel 4's broadcasts in the 1980s. And then there is the final one is a redo for the PBS run in I'm not actually sure what year that was, but it's like I want to say 2000 2010 maybe 2009 2010 somewhere in there.
And you
And none
watched
of
them
them
all.
well, I have actually watched them all. None of them agree. They don't even agree on like the only things that they agree on are where the arrival is first, Once Upon a Time is 16th, and Fallout is 17th. Besides that, they are all over the place.
And then there's like fan orders.
Yeah.
Like people who think like, oh, it should be this, this, this. And then, there's like Reddit threads dedicated to like people's like what they think the proper viewing order is. So it's really none of it is helpful. If you're coming to this show brand new, it's like, maybe just whatever you find it on, just watch it in that order and then figure it out for yourself after you've seen the whole thing. Because I think it's all fine, you
Yeah, I
know?
I agree. Plus, there's McGowan. McGowan had 7 episodes. He said everyone must watch. It and those were The Arrival, The Chimes of Big Ben, Free for All, um, Dance of the Dead. No, no. I am totally brain farting now.
Like,
Arrival, Chimes of Big Ben, Free for All. Uh,
I would hope that Hammer into Anvil would
Hammer
be
into Anvil.
one.
Yes, Hammer into Anvil. Once Upon a Time and Fallout. I'm missing one, and I cannot remember off the top of my head. I had it written down, and now I can't find the note.
Yeah.
Hammer and Anvil was one of my favorites. That was a good run. That and then It's Your Funeral was a good double bill that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
Uh,
I liked Many Happy Returns. That was my favourite, I think.
Oh, that one was my favorite episode until Hammer into Anvil.
yeah, I really like. I think my favorite is Chimes of Big Ben.
I like the ones where it's not necessarily about tricking him or foiling an escape. It's the one where the people in the village just prod at his sanity a bit, just to weaken him. They try to weaken him a little bit. There's no specific aim other than to piss him off. Those are my favourite episodes.
Yeah.
I kind of like him being totally fucked with, because the Schizoid Man was great.
Schizoid Man's a good one. Checkmate is my favorite. Now that I think about it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which is the episode that's entirely dedicated to him sending one of the number twos mad.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Hammer into Anvil.
Ah, yeah.
Right,
That's a great
Yeah,
one.
that was the first note that I wrote down for that episode was, is he just fucking with number two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, the entire episode is him just fucking with him, which is so great. Like,
A random advert in the newspaper and stuff.
yeah. Oh my God, I love, like, he's just listening to that same record, like every copy of it. So it's like, I mean, at first it's like, what the hell is he doing? And then it gets to a point where you're like, oh my God, I love this. He's just poking the bear, like at that point. Like, I'm not even gonna try to escape in this very special episode. I'm just gonna be such a dick.
I'm watching it thinking, should I be hearing a difference in those records? And you weren't aware of this, Anna, but Craig and I admitted to Dave a couple of weeks ago, we started watching a show, and it was about 3 episodes in when we realised, oh, it's always a different number two. Like, it's a fluid
Oh no.
opening sequence.
Like, what's going on?
Initially, we were just like, oh, they just couldn't keep hold of an actor long enough, could they? Oh no, that's the point.
No, it was supposed to be that way. Yeah, I remember thinking that too when I originally watched just the like small handful of episodes. I was like, did the first one die or something? Like, did like the actor or whatever? And then, episode 2, it's like Leo McKern, and I was like, oh great, it's gonna be he's gonna co-star throughout the whole thing, and then he's not in the third episode, and I'm like, what the
that devastated me. I mean, I don't know if you were our favourite number twos, but my favourite easily was Leo McKern. He's actually my favourite performance in the show.
McKern
even over McGowan. I think he's wonderful.
Oh,
that roaring laugh of his is just. It's about like if I used AI and I don't, I would type in the prompt Leo McKern, Rip Torn, Brian Blessed, gay threesome. I would love. I wouldn't even have to look at it. I just want to listen to it. I just want to listen to the.
And for me, McKern is what really makes the last. McKern comes back. Spoiler.
Yeah, I was so glad he came back.
And he really makes the last 2 episodes work because
Yeah.
they're the most surreal, and I know some folks think they're a little too much, but I think they are very targeted and pointed, and maybe we'll get into that later. But
Well,
Yeah.
the second
his-
one, like, don't know, the penultimate episode. I love how I said earlier about how he'd he'd turned down the Bond gig and didn't like it, and it's kind of like that was one of the episodes where I really saw how far Magoon was trying to push the complete opposite of Bond and not go for that macho bullshit and actually have our super spy like reduced to a child waving a rattle around. Like, you're not going to see James Bond become a rattle waving adult baby anytime soon. I just loved how far he was willing to take it in that respect. He was really railing against kind of patriarchal macho shit.
yeah, and McKern
Yeah.
plays like every. And I was saying about this while watching it. McKern plays almost every masculine influence the average male in the West has. You got teachers, you got the principal, you've got your coach for little league or gym, you've got your army, but it is just it's an incredible performance from McKern because he plays them all slightly
Yeah.
differently. It is a jaw-dropping performance.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
To
it
the
was
point
wonderful.
that it broke both of them, and McKern would not be alone with McGowan months later for filming the final episode. So off screen, the whole time, Alex Canner is sitting off screen as emotional support animal for Leo McKern.
Because didn't Magoon say they got themselves into a manic state?
Yes, yeah, they broke
Something
each
like
other
that. And
filming Once Upon a Time.
yeah.
Yeah.
mm.
Well, that crashed the conversation, but I just think it underlying
Oh, good night, everybody.
what makes this a unique thing. I mean, like, there's a lot of shows where you hear about tyrants on set, but it's rare that you see two actors push each other so hard doing a psychodrama about the 7 ages of man that they literally break each other so they don't feel safe in each other's presence months later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't say remarkable in a good way. It's really remarkable.
No,
No,
it's
not
something.
great, but I mean, I think it, for better or worse, it really pays off and it in dividends, you know. That episode is really incredible.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything else on TV like it. And I don't think there will be anything else on TV quite like it.
Oh yeah, we
No.
definitely need our own The Prisoner.
Well, they've been threatening to do it for years. Ridley Scott was signed on for a while. And it's going to be absolutely terrible if he does it, but every once in a while, Christopher Nolan threatens it. He will not do it right. I'm going to say it right now.
No, yeah, it's so the thing about this show too that's sort of inextricable with it is how colorful it is. It's you can't have somebody like Christopher Nolan. I'm sorry. Like, he's not a colorful director. Um like, there has to be that bizarre livelihood of the village, right? And I don't think anybody can just do that. Like, without it looking like I don't know. This it's I I some things I think just need to be left alone. And this is really one of those. I don't think there's a way that anybody can recapture that lightning in a bottle that
No,
was
I
done
mean, when
so.
I say we need our own The Prisoner, I don't mean The Prisoner. I think we just need a program that swings as hard and is as
Yeah.
invested in difficult questions and having
Yeah.
something of that depth to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, one of the first notes that I made was how refreshing it is to see a show that does not, like, answer a lot of questions, and it doesn't repeat everything. I mean, I know you guys
No.
have probably talked about it a lot. A lot of conversations are being had around this writing for the second screen, because people are they're not really watching shows, they're sort of putting them on and then half paying attention or like half looking at their phones. So it was really great to go back to a show where you need to pay attention to what's going on. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, you're just lost. And there were a couple of episodes that I went back and rewatched because I did kind of like, I was, sneaking a couple of glances at my phone, and then it's like, oh shit, I missed like a whole thing. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to have to rewatch the entire episode. It's not like I can even just roll it back and pick it back up from where I stopped paying attention. It's like, nope, I got to just rewatch the entire episode and really give it my attention. And it's so rewarding though to watch shows like that really give you such a great payoff for watching it. And I would love to see us go back to that sort of thing, even if it's not taking these huge swings, even if it's not really, reaching for the stars. Uh, like we desperately need programs, that reward you for watching them. It's so weird to actually say that, but it's true. Like it's exhausting to try to watch television shows where they're telling you what's happening on the screen as it's happening. It's like, oh God.
My favourite my favourite unanswered question is why did number 6 retire? I really hate to know the full answer to that because I think you can come up with your own notions with each at the end of each episode, like what it was that brought him to retire. But I like to think it's something incredibly small, and small and just that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But because someone's saying, "Hey, you have to tell us this," he's never going to fucking tell them, and it's
No.
not even that important. He's just been told he has no choice but to give up this information, so he never ever will. He's the most. He will die in that place before he'll tell them that he got another job or just some tiny little thing.
Oh my God.
Did
Just
he
got
confirm he
another
just wanted to go on vacation a couple times?
Yeah, I got another job at WH Smith's.
I'm getting old. I got weekend work at Morrison's when it goes.
Yeah,
but
he's never ever going to tell them that.
Season. My favourite unanswered question, as I said to Dave already, is how Patrick McGowan can manage to look so smug without having a really punchable face. Like he does such constant smugness, but I always liked his smugness. I don't know
Especially
how.
in the credit sequence, man. I watched the credit sequence of every episode I watched. I never skipped it. I always watched it because I loved the theme. Also, towards the end when he goes to his house and gets gassed, he is Zoolandering the fuck out of those camera angles. He is. The camera's always right on his face and he is putting the most pouty, bitchy little face, and I always looked forward to it. I looked forward to the moment we got out of the car, we got the close up of his face, and then the moment he went through the door, and we got the close up of his smug face, and then his I smell gas face. Like I loved all of those faces.
Oh man.
God, what is my favorite unanswered question? I'm not sure. There's just so fucking many.
I Yeah, I think the one that haunted me throughout most of the show was the little guy who was number two's like butler or whatever.
Yeah, the
I
butler.
was like, he's got to be number one. He's got to be the actual number one. Like it nagged me. And then there was a whole episode where like, or there were like maybe 2 episodes back to back where like you didn't see him, and I was like, "Where's the little guy?" Like this is like obsessed. My
He is in
brain,
every episode. He's the only other person in every episode.
I was hyper fixated on that guy. Like they're gonna reveal him, even though I knew in my heart, I did not actually know this prior to watching the last episode, but I knew, I was like, it's gonna be him. It's gonna be like Patrick McGoohan is number one, right? Like they're gonna do that shit. And I was like, I'm fine with that. But I really
Not that
wanted.
with the monkey mask
I
in
mean, is he
Oh
between.
God,
really
yeah,
number one? I mean,
right.
because even that is so surreal. I'm not.
Yeah,
That's
and yeah, I mean it's debatable, right? If that's actually what's going on, or if it's just,
or is it
you know,
is it a play on can you be the individualist hero if you have fascism in your heart?
right. Yeah, maybe the real fascism was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, I mean,
That I think is that what the message is? Terrible message, by the way. But yeah, I was like, it's got to be that little dude. And then also like I guess this wasn't really so much a question that I was left lingering with, but more of a confirmation that the cat distribution system works everywhere, in- including the village, because I think it was in. I know the cat shows up first in Many Happy Returns, but it seems like Dance of the Dead, which was the episode following that, in the order that I watched, which was the ITV order, um, is when the cat like just appears or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, the cat distribution system works. Like this cat just shows up at his cottage. I was like, yes, this is great. But
yeah, the
um
cat, a recurring cat. Like I just like that a
yeah,
cat's a
and then it was like an actual character for a while.
the reveal. I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I
I
love that.
guess the question for me is where did he get that jacket? I love the jacket.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I feel like they sort of issued it to him, but it was so different from every other, which I guess was the point. Like, okay, this guy is singled out or whatever. But you didn't see them like hanging in the shop or whatever. Like, um, it wasn't like a standard issue, but that jacket is bitchin'.
No, I say forget about that jacket. He is the sexiest cowboy. Like I was not remotely sexually attracted to Patrick McGoohan until he was a cowboy, and then I was just like, holy, what the fuck?
Hubba
Well,
hubba.
That is such
how
a
did he transform into a completely different man and just look that good?
Living is in Harmony is such
Absolutely
a good
incredible.
episode. And it wasn't aired in the US originally. It wasn't aired here until years later.
Oh, that's wild.
Apparently there's something happened in the news and the ABC or CBS chief just made the call like at the last minute where he's like it'd
Like
be
not to
insensitive
air
to
that
run
one.
this. Yeah.
I love that um episode was sort of like, it was kind of Westworld before Westworld was a thing, but also like it had that like Blazing Saddles ending where where they were all like cardboard cutouts. I was like, what the hell is happening here? But like it kind of felt like I don't, and I'm so illiterate when it comes to like television tropes, but were there a lot of TV shows that would do like a sort of obligatory Western episode?
No,
Or
I
A
mean,
was this
Star Trek
pretty,
must have done.
well, Star Trek had a couple because they were
yeah,
shooting
yeah,
on the I Love Lucy set. That's what they had access to for free. That's why they're
yeah,
in Mayberry like, 4 times a year. Like
yeah.
literal Mayberry.
Like actual, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I was like, I don't know if this was like kind of ahead of that curve of like, okay, we're gonna have this like obligatory episode that takes place in some Western or like or a time travel-y kind of thing like that.
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if this was where it started from. Did you guys notice what the tune the siren played was? The siren the taxis and stuff had was? Did you notice what tune it is?
no.
It's the Twilight Zone theme.
Oh,
Is
really?
it?
Fed up and yeah, it was the Twilight Zone theme.
Oh, Patrick, you devious bitch. Um, I thought it was great though. That Western episode was fantastic.
It's such a good
Um,
run. I like
That
how
was
they
a favorite of
use
mine.
everything's a parable in that because the kid Alex Kanner's character is 100% Rover. He's
yeah,
a human Rover, and it is fantastic.
I love that he was apparently like cast kind of just for his looks, and then Patrick McGoohan was just like, I love that guy so much, I'm bringing him back, like for the last episode. Like there was no other reason. Yeah. He kind of had like a Scott Wilson quality to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. I mean like Scott Wilson in oh what's that movie? The Ninth Configuration.
God, love that movie.
Yeah. It kind of had that sort of vibe to him, just some like weird fragile soul. I loved him. Even as Rover, but it quote unquote as the human Rover. Yeah, it's just incredible.
That's a hell of an episode, Living in Harmony.
Yeah, that's a real standout.
There's a lot of standout. I mean, it's one of those things where like there are probably too many episodes. I will admit that. This is probably best in like 10, maybe 14.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy the girl though. Just a wild, goofy spy episode.
Well, where it's felt like repetitive to me at times, bear in mind that I was binging. I apologise yet again, Dave. But like, you can have episodes like the themes are alternating, but you can end up if you're watching it like I was. You watch 3 or 4 episodes pretty close together, and they all hinge on number 6 becoming, being suspicious of a suspicious person, and then learning to trust them, and then being betrayed. Like you get 3 or 4 of those like in a row. He does tend to like jump into these obvious setups with both feet, and you feel like maybe you could lose a couple of those because you're just watching him make the same mistake like 4 or 5. Like I don't know, they would not get because I can sleep for anything. I would stay in my bed all the time. I'm not getting into any of these fucking shenanigans that he gets into every day. Every time he steps out the door. I would smell shenanigans like the second anyone spoke to me and go back to bed. But that would be a terrible program. Oh, hello, number 6. I'm definitely not a spy. Goodbye. Goodbye. Should we talk about McGowan quickly? I don't know if we spoken about his performance because I deeply disliked the first episode of The Prisoner. I really did dislike it. And I thought I've got 16 more of these. I'm going to die. And then it only took till the second episode for me to change my mind. And one of the things I really disliked about the first episode was McGowan. And the second episode, I got about 20 minutes into it. I was like, oh, okay. No, I really like him, and I really misunderstood what he's going for. Which I think is easy to like for that to maybe like not click.
Mhm.
There was something in it. At first, it looks like he's doing a kind of like Roger Moore level naturalistic acting, just no nuance whatsoever, just way over the top. But once I'd watched it for a bit more, I was like, oh, actually, he's like doing a lot with a little, and it gets clearer more, the further the program goes. But he's in one way, he's kind of doing a Leslie Nielsen before Leslie Nielsen by just being very straight faced, especially in the early episodes. He's very straight faced, and it just means all the mad shit going on around him and all the madness that's kind of growing in him is really amplified by having this person who is so dry and arch at the center of it. It's a really kind of ironic and controlled performance, which I didn't get at first, and then I don't know. It's a very strange performance where he does so much with so little, and you notice more and more as the show progresses just what a smart performance it was, and how good he is. And he gets to do more naturalistic and more forceful scenes later on. You really believe he's kind of losing his mind. But the early scenes where he seems very Bond-like are obviously just like they're quite piss-takey, I think, and he's undercutting a lot. He's kind of playfully undercutting all of the macho bullshit, and I ended up really liking McGowan in this. He's really good. It just at first he threw me, but he's excellent.
Yeah, I think that really peaks in Many Happy Returns, which the front half of that episode has almost zero dialogue, right?
Yeah,
And
like 20 minutes.
What's that?
It's like 20 minutes where nobody says anything.
Yeah, it's that's exactly what I put in my notes, almost no dialogue for the first 20 minutes. But then I wrote Patrick McGowan is smoldering here. All in caps and double underlined smoldering. So I think that's where the acting really peaks, is in that episode. And that's where it just is it's so impressive. I mean, even up to that point too. For me, that was episode 7. So almost at a little over a third of the way through the run. But yeah, you're right. He really does. He does so much with so little.
It's that thing where you understand the character so well that it's an insular performance that comes out naturally. You're not having to think about what you're doing. You just know it well enough. But
yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking that it was almost like he's not necessarily playing a character at some level. This is just him being feeling trapped by whatever his life situation was, in part. I mean, clearly he's still acting, he's still playing this character, but it did really feel like some of that was just him. He's just over it, and it comes through great though. It could have been so hammy, it could have been really um just camp, and he is such a great moral center that holds everything down, because everything else around him is it's just fucking absurd. This show is so weird. It's so fucking absurd, but he manages to sell it so well. And yeah, it's a remarkable performance, even when it gets to the end where it's well, it's just batshit at this point, and we're just wrapping it up. Whatever, we're just kitchen sinking it, and we're gonna have we're gonna license a Beatles song, and who the fuck cares at this point, right? and even then, it's still it's incredibly grounded for the insanity that's happening around him.
Yeah, I think McGowan is excellent, and he even outside of this. Have you guys seen him do other stuff? I mean, I think we've covered 1 or 2 other things he's popped up in.
Only Braveheart.
Didn't we do Ice Station? I meant to do Ice. You haven't seen Scanners?
Scanners. I have
Yeah.
seen Scanners. I don't
He's in
remember him in
that.
it,
Yeah.
but
He's
oh,
the
okay.
doctor.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Holy shit.
I have a hard
And
time with Scanners. That fucking Stephen Lack is unbearable, and I really, for that reason, do not like to watch Scanners.
He was really he did a lot. He didn't get credit for it, but he rewrote uncredited a shit ton of Columbo episodes in the 1970s and 90s.
he's in the famous tale in Asylum, isn't he? About
Yeah.
little robots.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
dude
what
had
he-
a hell of a
on that one.
career. Just a weird ass career after this. And of course, there's always Secret Agent / Danger Man, which has the second best theme of any television series ever.
When were the? I know it sounds like a strange like segue, but when were the McCarthy witch trials?
The 50s.
Oh, yeah, the 50s.
Yeah, I do wonder how much that played into the prisoner and the the ideas.
Oh well, they definitely
he worked into it.
Those definitely pop up. 'Cause those were like 54, I think they started.
Yeah,
But those pop up a few times. So do Chinese struggle sessions. There's quite a few struggle sessions that pop up in the series. There's a lot of references and shit going on.
it got me thinking about they happened at about the same time, so there's no direct connection, but it made me think about Muhammad Ali, possibly the most famous person in the world, facing prison because they're not doing as they're told, they're not falling into line. So I think it's more that he just had his finger on the pulse of the times, so that those two things are linked in my head anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that big like counterculture strain. Like, yeah, he was really um like right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been rambling for an hour and a half, so let's there's with no structure, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing TV shows with Anna when she comes on. I enjoy the rambling. But it's time to. Do you recommend The Prisoner? Do you think that this is a series worth sharing with others and continuing, or should
You
it be
should all go
forgotten
and
to
watch
history?
one episode of The Prisoner a week for 17 weeks is what you should do. Don't watch it in 15 days. Don't do it, because I mean, sometimes it kind of gets you into the mindset of the character, and you are like, you do feel close to madness, but it's not worth it. Watch an episode a week.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think you do have to kind of space it out just because, again, you know, so much of programming is just spoon feeding the audience. Like, you really deserve to savor this show and really spend time with it. I think it's, Dave said it earlier too. It's still weirdly relevant, unfortunately, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that like that it's influenced.
And you really
Even
want it to marinate, each
yeah,
episode. You want to be able to think about it and maybe even have a
yeah,
little look into this and that. And I did not get a chance to dig into what it was all about because I had to watch the next episode of The Prisoner.
yeah, and I'm excited to go back to like the special features and stuff on the set that I have, so I can really kind of get even further into it as far as like the behind the scenes kind of stuff. But um, I mean, there's so many things in here that like at the time was totally innovative, but then you see it's almost weird going back and watching it because it does feel kind of tropey in a way, but it's like, no, nobody was doing any of this stuff before this show. Like that whole episode where they're basically like getting into his dreams, ABC.
See, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, you mentioned Christopher Nolan. Like basically Inception, where they're like getting in there and just like screwing around with his dreams and stuff. Um, it's great. I would absolutely recommend it. I think like treat yourself, like treat your brain to something that is gonna like reward you back.
I feel like Kevin's going to say, yes, I recommend it, but don't watch all 17 episodes for a movie podcast. Because that is immoral.
That is exactly what I would say. I recommend it for kind of the it feels like a real cultural touchstone. It's like it's an essential afternoon tea that you should space out. You should watch it while having afternoon tea and make sure your pinky is just lifted off the bone china as you're doing that. Everything has to be proper.
I would have
Uh,
saved it for a weekly mini-sode, but we didn't do that at the time we decided to do this.
no, we didn't. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Well, yeah. Well, you fucked that up. So, congrats.
Oh, it's such a shame we didn't have Tyler here to give like 2 seconds of this wasn't for me. I didn't hate it, but
I
we'll
love it.
squeeze him in.
I think you should go see it. I agree with Anna. You should go see something that will make your brain happy and challenge you and give you things to think about. Because it is still relevant. I hate to fucking say it, but a lot of the shit that they do in this is still relevant in both US and UK politics. We are so fucked. Yay. And you know what? You can watch the whole fucking series for free on YouTube. It was re-uploaded in glorious 4K by fucking Shout Studios 10 months ago.
Nice.
Go fucking watch it. You have no excuse. I mean, you do. That excuse is fuck you, Dave, but you know.
And just
It kind of goes against the core of a TV show that you've told people to watch it. Because anyone who would actually enjoy it would be like, no, fuck you, I'm not doing what you tell me to do.
I know, right? I do think that it would say a lot to people. I think folks would deeply enjoy it. I think it is an important work of fiction that
Tell them
still
not to
resonates
enjoy it
today.
and not watch it. Then they'll watch it. Don't you dare! I ban you from watching The Prisoner.
Well, I have T's pick for next week. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
T went full T, and I decided to match his energy. T went with a Greg Araki film, the 2010 sci-fi sex comedy mystery, Kaboom. And then I went, well, if T is doing a weird sci-fi art film, I'll do a weird sci-fi art film. I'm going with the 2025. Mine's Chinese though, from Bygone. I'm going with Resurrection.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna like. Did you think we were done with weird shit? We weren't done. With
No,
weird
of course
shit.
not.
No, we're never done with weird shit. But the goal now is to break Kevin. Hey, Craig, can you give him the business?
I don't know the business.
See, this is why
I
we're
don't know it. I don't know it.
Tyler. You can find us on Instagram. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Facebook. We're on Discord. You can email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com. And remember, you can hear us every week wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm going to write all that down. I'm going to do it next week.
Anna, when will they be able to hear you wax philosophical about the wonders of the Raimi?
So the first episode drops on June 18th. We're gonna do seasons. So we're gonna do like 6 episodes a season. Every 2 weeks, we're gonna drop an episode. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram at the RaimiCast 1981. If you want to shoot us an email, it's the RaimiCast1981@gmail.com. I am working on getting a website put together, RaimiCast.com. And yeah, check us out. I'm super excited about what's to come with that, and hopefully you guys will be too.
Nice. Thanks for joining me, guys. Be seeing you.
See you next week.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yes, the thing you
Yeah.
said from the program.
What the hell was that?